I love that song that you've chosen, Megan, and just to have that introduction about the purpose of the song, how that song was created by Jennifer Lopez and Lin-Manuel Miranda, and another amazing collaboration, right? So I read an interview somewhere where Jennifer Lopez like stalked Lin-Manuel Miranda because she wanted to do a song with him in response to that nightclub shooting, etc., that happened. And I love the lyric, love is a call to action. And that's what we're all about during the Sing Your Heart Song Summit. So that just really like stood out for me. I wrote it down, love is a call to action. So I'm excited to hear how this song has impacted you and how it's going to be woven into your story. And I believe, Irma, you're going to be doing introductions.
I am, yes. Good afternoon, everyone. And the next speaker is very dear to my heart. Megan and I met through our Toastmasters Club at Professional Career Speakers out of San Diego. Even though I live in Canada, I joined that club. And she's authentic, she's hardworking, she's a fantastic person. She's going to talk a little bit about what she had gone through and how she survived through it. Megan is a traumatic brain injury survivor and former high school English teacher and counselor. Through Toastmasters, she learned to write and speak about overcoming life's challenges with adversity and resilience. Megan wrote her memoir with this message of inspiration. Hope survives. Strength after a traumatic brain injury. Her talk title today is One Moment Can Change Your Life. Please help me welcome Megan Hurley.
Thank you, Irma, for that beautiful introduction, which leads directly from Olivia and to what you've said. Have any of you ever thought that one moment can change your life? Or now are asking yourselves, did I miss that moment? Whoops. Did I not pay attention to it? It's okay. We'll get back to that later. I'd like to tell you a story so we can connect today. 14 years ago, I walked into a library to get a book working on my master's, and an ambulance raced me out. I don't remember anything after that. I had a seizure, fell backwards, fractured my skull. All of that resulted in a traumatic brain injury. The doctors explained to my mom that your brain is like a circuit board for your body. And a non-injured brain has all of those wires in that circuit board plugged into the right spots. An injured brain has those wires unplugged and mixed around everywhere. It can be a lifelong journey to get them back in the right places. For me, my deficits include cognition, focusing, communication challenges, physical balance issues, and other disabilities rolled together. Today, I am not focusing on the trauma, as Irma and Olivia said. Today, I'd like to focus and tell you about 4 things that I learned about my moment that all bring my heart song together. 4 of those special lessons are support, resilience, finding your identity, and resources. the most important lesson I learned is that I don't have to do this alone. Asking for support is crucial because all of us go through some challenge in our lives. It doesn't need to be a brain injury. It can be anything. But we have to deal with something tough, and we want to believe. We need to believe that we can get through it. And that's something that we aren't alone with. We don't need to be alone. Even though we feel like, oh, we're not supposed to talk about this, or maybe I'm not supposed to ask about this. That's one of the reasons I really wanted to talk about my story, is because when I left the hospital, my husband and I were not given any information. They just said, okay, we're wheeling you out. YouTube videos come with more information and disclosures, and ask your doctor if you can do this, more than we were told. We figured it out. We had to learn on our own. And we were not ashamed of that. My husband, Bob, took every learning moment possible to create safety, a safe home for me to be able to thrive in our house, outside of our house. He got a seizure support dog for me. My little seizure support dog developed a seizure disorder. So we bonded really quickly. We knew we were a perfect match. Now Bob has to worry about both of us. Our house is like NASA. We've got every Alexa, Echo device everywhere that lead to Bob's phone though, which is brilliant because every time I fall, I can just scream, Echo, call Bob's phone. And then I yell, bell again. And he comes home. We've learned these things over time. And that's important because even though it's been tough, everything's been a learning point. That's been really important. And that's something that I think all of us can take away, is that while we're not alone, it's not a journey that ends every time we struggle. It's an opportunity to find new ways. And there's my little seizure support dog. One of the other really important lessons that I learned is to remind myself that I'm resilient. I fell down, but it didn't knock me down. My mom, and she's on here. Hi, Mom. I feel like I'm on a game show. Hi, Mom. Yes, everybody wave. My mom. Resilience is important. I'm still strong. This moment in the stupid library, that's pretty boring, wasn't the end. When I was home and woke up a little cognitively, I didn't even know what happened to me. I took out a Post-it and wrote a to-do list. First thing I wrote, write a book. That had been a lifelong dream of mine. My mom had come out here from New York to help me and support and help my husband and be there to absolutely be by my side, because that's my mom, because I don't have to be there alone. And whether it's your mom or whoever it is, you have that person in your life who is your rock. My mom is a realist. She didn't put me down. She did say, all right, Megan, we're still working on you walking down the hall on your own. Maybe we write the book down on the list. We work on walking down the hall. She was right about that. 6 weeks later, I was able to walk down the hall by myself. We celebrated that moment. I remember it so well. She remembers it so well. We celebrated that. And I want you guys to remember that and really, really know. Celebrate every moment. Every moment is a win. Whether it's the first thing on your Post-it list or the great, big, big dream, they're all wins. Don't forget to celebrate them because everything matters. And that's important. And that matters for anything. Even if you're not in the middle of your challenge, remind yourself that you're winning. And remind yourself that you are strong. There are times that I have those days where my energy is low. That's one of the deficits of a traumatic brain injury. My energy is not the same it used to be. My husband, Bob, and he's here. Hi, Bob. Wave to Bob. He's here too. My husband, Bob, always says, Megan, you can do one thing a day. That's what the energy you have is. Or you do one thing, you take a few hours of a nap, and then you can do two things. Today is dedicated to those things. And I learned that. I also learned I'm not weak because I have a brain injury. I'm resilient because I'm living with a brain injury. That's something for all of us to remember. Whatever it is, we will believe we will get through. It doesn't make us weak. We are fighting and we are celebrating. I want to tell you, I reclaimed my identity. I received no physical therapy. Again, they wheeled me out of that hospital. Bye. I had to find my own way to build myself up. I walked over to the YMCA next door to me, and I just signed up for any fitness class. It was dance fitness, Zumba, which I never thought about or knew anything about. And my instructor who licensed me, Elisa, is here. Hi, Elisa. See, it's fun. We're still on the game show. I didn't know anything about it. But it's the inclusion and the music and the community, which is why that song is so important. It was the first time I felt like a person, not a patient. Because everyone there was smiling and everyone's high-fiving. And it didn't matter that I was going the wrong way in a different direction and I wasn't going as high. I was there smiling and feeling the music, and that is the right way for Zumba. I was there, and that's what's important, is you can reclaim your identity no matter what. We're all going through something. You don't have to be put down. You don't have to be in someone else's box. It's important not to forget that. the last big point that I learned is to seek out resources. Again, we're not there alone. We have this resilience. There are people, there are resources out there. Even if nobody tells you about them, you learn about them, you seek them out. The San Diego Brain Injury Foundation is an incredible place that supports all brain injury survivors. Because you know what? 10 years later, I did write the book. I got to the end of my Post-it. It's not over. I have a bunch more Post-its. But there were resources and there were other people who believed in me, Bob and my mom and my whole Zumba family and all of my friends and my family. I wasn't alone. I asked for help. And all of everything from this, which is again about my journey with inspiration. It's not, oh, I had a trauma and I live in it. This all goes to the San Diego Brain Injury Foundation because I want to give back and be a part of being a resource for everyone, anyone who has helped build me back up. Exactly what Olivia was saying, and I promise she did not hear my presentation today. My song, it's not my song, J-Lo and Lin-Manuel Miranda's song, but my heart song means so much to me because of what it says. Love is a call to action. That song is bigger than me. It's a community. It's a celebration of joy and life without judgment. Because, let me ask you, did I say that fall in the library was my moment? No, that happened to me. I don't even remember it. No way does it get that much power. It was after the support, the resilience, the goals, claiming my identity that I was able to say, you know what? I claim my moment to be here, to be with you. And that's what I leave with you. What will you do with your moment to change your life? Will you let it happen to you? Or will you claim it? Will you raise your voice? Will you turn up that volume later and louder? It looks like I've got like 3 minutes left. You guys can unmute yourselves and unvideo yourselves, and I don't need to be spotlighted or anything. Come out in the chat and stuff. And do you guys, is anything connecting with anybody?
Yeah.
Megan, yes, very much. I love the whole idea of claiming your moment, that, you know, your moment isn't forced upon you, but you get to choose the moment that you rise and you create the life that you want to be living. And I love all the energy and that you bring to this presentation and all the energy that you bring everywhere you go.
Thank you. And I see comments in the chat and that people are connecting and saying that they claim their moment. And I see our cousin that is commenting, and that is so sweet. And I see a lot of positive comments and ways that people haven't thought about that. And again, it was something I hadn't thought about, this whole concept, again, until it really happened to me. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time to be here and listen and being here to embrace. And I really want to tell you, in a couple of hours after I take my nap, and I'm not joking about that, because again, that's something I learned. And again, my husband's here and he's typing that you have 2 things today, so you need to take a nap. At 2:30 Pacific time, 5:30 Eastern time, because I do still get that confused. Self-care is so important. I've been asked, and it's a huge honor, to lead a Zumba dance fitness class. And we will be dancing to my heart song and actually another person's heart song. So please, please feel free to join us. It's a 25-minute class. And again, what I started off with saying about it, it is all about you. It is all for fun. What I want you to do is smile and just enjoy the music. Move at your own pace. Just be with us. You can sit, you can stand. I want you to just sit there, be here, and be part of our community. If you want to wear a fun color, that's super cool too, because I'll have on a bright more color than this. But everyone, feel free. The whole summit is incredible, and all of our speakers and presentations just uplift everything about you. And I've connected with beautiful people here and everyone's stories, and it's amazing to connect with all of you. And I'm inspired by all of you. And thank you for all of your messages in the chat. Absolutely. And there's my husband. So yay. Hi, Bob. And I just thank you guys all. And thank you to Toastmasters. As Steve and Irma was saying, that has been another huge source of helping me to reclaim my voice. And that was something that I learned to do, because I did need to learn how to put my thoughts and story together. And everything coming together has been, and still is, a huge part of this journey. And I just want to thank you all for inviting me to be here. And I think that we have a wheel, right, Olivia?
Well, not yet. We still got plenty of time left.
Oh, okay. I do want to add, let me just add one more thing that is important, that I think is incredibly important. For traumatic brain injury or any type of brain injury, this is something that happens every 9 seconds to someone. It affects someone every 9 seconds in the United States, according to the CDC, which is important, because I would like to just mention some resources and information, because that's important. If you hit your head in any way, if you see a kid hit their head in gym class or phys ed class, if you hit your head I guess other ways that I've hit my head are just walking into the wall or any way, it's not a joke. Please, even if it's not bleeding, go to the hospital and get a CAT scan. Please, I can't say that enough with more passion. It is crucial. Please do that. Don't drive. Pay attention to that. Any concussion, it is absolutely true. And those symptoms, they can last for days. And I think, Catherine, you have your hand up. Go for it.
Oh, thank you, Megan. I'm so delighted to have heard your story of heroism.
Oh, thank you.
really beautiful. And I love your message. And I loved how you put it together because it was such a surprise at the end to go, okay, that wasn't your moment. But what I heard, yeah, I like the twist. What I got was that and I may have misinterpreted, but that your moment was when you chose to live, when you chose to be here on this planet, and you got that you had all these resources, you had all this stuff, and that you could choose to make your life the best life, you be, and your life be, and to just be here. And I thought, for me, how that landed, and I have not had a brain injury, so I haven't gone through that sort of thing. But for me, it's about choosing again and again. Like, for me, that wouldn't be one moment, but because of negative thoughts that have arisen.
Yeah,
That's the stuff I've had to go
absolutely.
through. So your message reaches across other experiences to choose again and again and again. We have more than one. That moment isn't just once, for me at least. But but if it was for you, good, because awesome. I love the message. Thank you.
No, thank you. And I'm really glad you brought that up. And that's absolutely the point. Is it doesn't have to be a brain injury. It can be anything that anybody's going through, is that ownership. And I'm very glad you mentioned that. Thank you for sharing that. I think Maureen and then Christina, please. Now I feel like I'm being a teacher again, which is super fun. Maureen, go ahead.
Hi, Megan. I
Hi.
absolutely loved what you shared. And
Thank you.
it's still very emotional when you said claim it. And as soon as you said those words, immediately I felt it within my soul and went, claim it. How beautiful is that? Thank you so much for that reminder to claim it. It was just earth shaking for me, truly. Beautiful, beautiful words.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank you for sharing that with us here. And I definitely Christina, and then Michelle. And I want to also just wave to my mother-in-law. So hi, Cecile, for being here. But thank you for me, Maureen, for sharing that with us. I'm sure that everyone appreciated that. So Christina and then Michelle.
I just wanted to say congratulations on a beautiful presentation. And I wanted to say I loved one part that really spoke to me is when you came to, and you first thing you wrote is, I'm going to write a book. I'm paraphrasing. I think you said write a book. And the fact that through everything, even though you had your husband and your mom breaking down the mountain for you, you never forgot your mountain. That was really, really beautiful. And the other thing I wanted to share too is, like, when you said you walked down the hall the first time on your own, I have a good friend, and both her children have certain disabilities, and they both suffer from different forms of seizures. And she posted a video of her oldest running down the hall at Mass General. And she's at this hallway a year before her daughter couldn't walk down that hallway. And she kept telling her, Lily, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And her daughter did. And it's really powerful hearing the love your mom and your husband and your family have for you. And I just want to thank you for that courage. And on a side note, I know we're going to connect offline, but I would love to hear how I can help you, how I can connect to you because I do feel like you have a beautiful message and it's so resonant. And I just want to say thank you for your courage and sharing it. You did an amazing job. Congrats on a wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing that. And I did write a message to Stephanie Bittigan, who's the head of the San Diego Brain Injury Foundation, to share the website in the chat. So that's just a separate thought. But thank you, Christina. And I'm so thankful that you shared all of that with us. And Michelle, hi, we've got Zumba friends here. We've got everyone's a friend.
Yeah, I was able to join. Thank you for being such an inspiration, Megan. And you've been very helpful with my husband, right, as he went through having a stroke. And I like how you say, to have a goal, to have a meaningful life, to something to look forward to, right? And the support system is very important. You and I met dancing in Zumba, and I was really in awe with your story when you share it there. And we were dancing for a brain injury cause that you were hosting that day. So very nice to meet such a inspirational, talented young woman. And one thing that I would like to learn more from you is what resources I I can reach out to. And I did write down the San Diego Brain Injury Foundation so I can be more of a supportive for to my husband. Yeah, and thank you for all your message. You're inspirational.
Thank you. And I'm glad that you asked that. And yes, your husband has been a powerhouse in his recovery. And I really appreciate you coming and advocating and helping to share his message. And yes, I know that I can share. I want to write that down because I will not remember.
He's part of the audience too. Enrique is part of the audience too.
This is a super strong family here. So thank you. I will be sharing with Olivia and with Steve and Irma more resources so they can get that out to everyone. Thank you so much for asking in that. Here we go. Yep, the San Diego Brain Injury Foundation is in the website, and they have a bunch of resources on their page too. And then Steve does his rant hazed. He knows what I'm talking. I don't know.
I do know what you're talking about, Megan, and your story just really resonates with me. We've shared a little bit in past times, kind of. Gosh, I'm getting emotional here. Imagine that at the Sing Your Heart Song Summit. I viewed my brain, I was always really proud of how smart I was. And then there came a time when my brain was my biggest enemy because there were chemical things going on inside my head that made it really, really hard to make it to the next day. And I love the idea of, we get to choose our moment. For a number of years, for many years, my choice was to not die until I chose to actually start living. That instead of seeing every exit as a way out, starting to look for how do I create a life that I love such that I want to be here. And I'm grateful that corner has been turned such that I truly do love my life. And one of the reasons I love my life is because I get to interact with such amazing people. Like everybody that shows up for here and, just shares their heart, shares their story, shares their heroic journeys. And I'm just grateful for you and your courage in sharing who you are and your journey with all of us. And I'm going to go ball my head off now. So,
Well, thank you. And thank you for sharing all of that, because that's actually, your story is one of the pieces that inspired me to share parts of this presentation today. And thank all of you for being here and being so supportive and being here to be here today. Lotta.
Can I say something about my wonderful, beautiful Megan?
Oh, I guess so.
I love you. I love you. I love you. Awesome. Amazing presentation. I know some of you here. Hello, hello, hello. Ah, yes. Wow. Yes. Awesome. You were beautiful. You're amazing. Great in presentation. Reminded me of my breast cancer experience and how it helped me find my voice. I remember that. I had a whole talk called Find Your Roar. find your voice. And I don't even think I use the word claim, which I actually really like that. You know, claim your voice, claim. I never use that word claim. So I just thought that was really good. And thank you for reminding me of that today. I really needed to hear that today. I needed to hear you. I needed my Megan fix. I got my Megan fix right here.
Well, thank you for being here all the way from New York. Well, and I'm in San Diego, so
But
thanks for flying out.
I flew in, a little tired, but I flew in. But thank you, sweetheart. You're just so beautiful. You're such an inspiration. You know that I mean, you know, I always get surprised when you tell me the things that you go through behind the scenes, you know, because you present as so, for lack of a better word, normal. But I know that, I know you've told me the struggles that you've been through. And I always I'm like, wow, she just shows up. You show up 100% every single time.
Thank you
always
very
show up.
much.
And that is so courageous and so brave and wonderful and inspiring. You're just inspiring. That's the bottom line. Love you. I love you.
Love
girl.
you too, and thank you for sharing that. And we met through Irma, all at the same Toastmasters club, and Irma is putting her foot down with the
time?
her red with her red
Of
timer.
course.
Irma's always putting her foot down, so Irma's got her.
Get away from
her fist,
Toastmasters.
She's got her red timing light. So thank you so much for joining us today and for your words. So Irma, I think, is going to take her red light.
All right, we'll take one last share from Hawk Juno.
Yep. Hi, Megan.
Hi.
I'm Megan's cousin. Want to just tell you, I love your speech. It's beautiful, and
Thank you.
I see that it's recorded. So I'd love to get a link to this later to be able to show my wife. It was very inspiring, and circumstances reason we haven't seen each other in a long time, but COVID and whatnot. But this was a beautiful speech, Megan. I'm very happy I joined and got to see you, and big virtual hug to you.
Virtual hug, and thank you for being here, and give a great big hug to your wife and mom and dad.
Will do.
Thank you.
And hug to the
Mom.
troops.
Thank you, you too.
All right, wonderful. Yeah, Megan, just beautiful presentation. I could tell it was very well crafted. You've been working really hard on it, I can tell. So it really paid off for you. And we heard from the amazing Helen Snell last night about the heroic journey. And I could map out, as you were telling your story, this heroic journey that you've been on with that call to action, you know, having this event happen to you and then deciding what the opposition was, claiming your moment, figuring out your plan with the Post-it notes. I love you have more Post-it notes. You have a mountain of Post-it notes to go through, but I love it. Therein lies the plan. And then all these guides that are coming forth now to help you, right? I mean, look at the supportive community you have surrounded yourself with. And I just keep thinking about all the amazing presenters that you have been introduced to throughout this summit, and perhaps working with them like Catherine or Emily or Helen or Mila or Jackie. I mean, there's numerous people that can now become guides for you and carrying through those plans you have and finding those intangible types of success, right? So, and defining that success for yourself. So, yeah, I think there's another book in you.
Anyone want to publish it? We're taking bids.
You know, and tomorrow we'll hear from Susan Crossman, who's a book coach, and she offers book writing services. I've already met Mila, who's a book coach. So plenty of opportunities for you to get your second book out there or do it as part of a collaboration compilation book. Excellent. So with that being said, we do have a Wheel of Names segment right